We've all felt that pre-travel tension, haven't we? You've checked your bags online, you know your gate, but there's this nagging question hanging over the entire trip.
Mm-hmm.
How certain are you that your ride is going to show up exactly when you need it?
It's the last mile problem of air travel, but, it's often the highest stakes part of the journey. You're forced to choose between, say, the speed of on-demand services and the absolute certainty that comes with scheduled logistics.
And when a flight clock is ticking, that choice
Mm.
matters
Ah,
immensely.
absolutely. And that is exactly our mission today. We are taking a deep dive specifically focused on professional scheduled airport transportation for folks traveling in and out of Ontario International Airport, or ONT, in Southern California.
Right. And we really want to get past the marketing buzzwords, like luxury or premium.
Exactly. We want to understand the operational mechanics, the regulations, what actually defines this industry. And we want to give you the blueprint for why certain travelers, especially those on tight schedules, prioritize the structured reliability over, say, instant convenience. The foundation for all of it really rests on one key difference:
Which is?
scheduled reservations. This commitment to planning ahead is what creates the entire operational contrast. It's the source of the punctuality and comfort these services are known for.
Okay, let's unpack this. If both a scheduled service and a general rideshare use a car and a driver, what is the fundamental logistical difference that scheduling ahead creates? Why does that drastically reduce uncertainty for someone heading to ONT?
The core difference is that commitment you mentioned. When you book a scheduled airport service, you are securing a dedicated resource. They aren't just hoping a driver happens to be nearby 5 minutes before you need them.
So the vehicle and the chauffeur are assigned just for my trip.
Exclusively for your trip, often days in advance. It's about guaranteed allocation, not instantaneous access.
And from their perspective, that must make fleet management much easier.
Precisely. When a company accepts that reservation, they commit that asset. It allows them to manage, dozens of pickups and drop-offs across the region far more efficiently. The whole structure is designed to minimize the risk of missed pickups.
Or those devastating last-minute cancellations.
Exactly. The driver isn't going to cancel because a better fare popped up closer to them. Your trip is locked in.
That certainty is valuable, but let me push back on that for a second. Isn't this scheduled model inherently less flexible?
How do you mean?
Well, if my meeting runs long or my flight lands early, I might have to wait. An on-demand service can adapt instantly. And, let's be honest, this level of service costs more. How do people justify that?
That's a critical question, and it really forces us to talk about the cost of unreliability. The justification for the price is all about the predictability of the outcome.
Okay.
For a business traveler whose time is billed by the hour, or a family that absolutely cannot miss an international flight, the cost of being late, the rebooked flight, it just far outweighs the fare difference.
So you're not paying a premium just for a nice car. You're buying insurance against logistical failure.
That's a perfect way to put it. You are buying peace of mind. The scheduled service has already factored in variables like traffic or terminal layouts the moment you booked. It creates a predictable experience you can count on.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The elements that take this beyond just a casual ride, the people and the vehicles. We've established the structural reliability, but that really leans on the human and physical elements, doesn't it? Let's talk about the people first. What makes a chauffeur different from just a driver?
It's the training and the explicit service standards. A professional chauffeur's role is far more detailed than simply getting you from point A to B. Their duties start well before they even pick you up.
Like arriving early.
They arrive early, yes, but they're often waiting in a designated holding area until just minutes before your confirmed time. The first thing they're doing is active monitoring.
And what are they monitoring specifically?
Two critical things: your flight status and real-time traffic conditions. So if your flight into ONT is delayed 30 minutes, they already know. They've adjusted their timing.
So you don't have to make that panicked call from the tarmac.
You don't. And second is the curbside service. They're proactively helping with luggage. They know the specific pickup zones at ONT, which can be really confusing, and they make sure the whole experience is seamless.
I imagine that experience with the airport layout is essential. They aren't pulling up to the wrong terminal or getting confused by the waiting lot rules.
That's the crucial distinction. These are professionals following established standards. This is their career. They know the geography of ONT's terminals 2 and 4, and they know the best routes to avoid the bottlenecks on the 10 freeway during rush hour.
And that professionalism has to extend to the equipment. Let's talk about the vehicles, because that's part of the promise, too.
It is. When you reserve a car, you're promised a specific class of vehicle, maybe an executive sedan, maybe an SUV for a family. And these vehicles have to be impeccably clean.
And well-maintained, I'd hope.
Critically, yes. They follow rigorous maintenance schedules that are far beyond what a private vehicle would undergo. A breakdown is just not an option when your vehicle is tied to a flight schedule. That maintenance is a core pillar of their reliability.
Yeah, I do appreciate that you can see the fleet options beforehand. If I'm traveling with a client, knowing I can get a clean, unbranded vehicle that fits a certain corporate image, that's a huge differentiator.
It's about control and presentation. And that brings us to what might be the most important distinction, but it's often overlooked: licensing and insurance.
Right. So how does commercial compliance practically make things safer or more accountable for me, the passenger?
It's a huge difference. These companies operate under strict commercial licensing, regulated at both the local and state level. This means they have to carry proper higher liability commercial insurance.
So this isn't just a standard car insurance policy.
Not at all. It's business-level coverage designed for constant commercial use. This ensures they meet safety requirements, vehicle inspections, and standards mandated by the Public Utilities Commission, the PUC, here in California.
And in the unlikely event of an incident, that coverage offers more protection.
Far more comprehensively than personal coverage might. It's a layer of verification and safety for the traveler.
And you mentioned this information shouldn't be a secret.
No, absolutely not. Part of being a professional service is transparency. A reputable company's details, their licensing, their business info should be easy to find on their website or, say, their Google Maps listing. If a company can't provide proof of that, it should be an immediate red flag.
That's a great practical tip. So let's move to operational depth. What does all this structure mean for the traveler with a really grueling or unusual flight schedule?
It means the service is built around the rhythm of the airport itself. First, you have to have 24-hour availability. Flights at ONT operate around the clock.
Right. You might have a 5 a.m. departure, which means a 3 a.m. pickup.
And at 3 a.m., the pool of drivers on a casual app can be sparse, unpredictable.
Tell me about it.
Scheduled services maintain a roster and fleet ready to go 204/7 because flights are a guaranteed demand. That flexibility is essential.
Now let's focus on the corporate connection. The needs of a business traveler are pretty unique, right?
They are, and they are the prototypical user for a reason. Their transportation is tied directly to professional efficiency. These services offer things like centralized billing. A company can have one account, book rides for multiple executives, and get a single consolidated bill.
Which avoids the headache of collecting individual receipts and doing expense reports. That adds real efficiency.
It does, and beyond that, the guaranteed professionalism is really an extension of the company's own brand. If you're picking up an important client from ONT, you need to know the vehicle will be pristine and the chauffeur will be professional and discreet.
It's about maintaining standards.
Exactly. It helps businesses maintain that efficiency and their corporate image during travel.
That's a strong case. Now let's drill down on something we touched on earlier: local knowledge. In a place like Southern California, especially around that big interchange of the 10 and 15 freeways near ONT, local knowledge isn't just a nice to have, it feels like a necessity.
It is absolutely critical. This is where a professional local service really shines. A chauffeur serving Ontario has to have a deep, real-time familiarity with traffic patterns and secondary routes.
So they're not just blindly following a GPS.
Precisely. They're interpreting the environment based on years of experience. They know when the 1560 split is going to be gridlocked and to use surface streets like Haven or Vineyard to shave time off the trip. They know the airport's layout, where to stage, the curbside rules.
All that knowledge adds up to a smoother, faster experience.
It avoids unnecessary delays that could jeopardize a timeline. Absolutely.
And if we look at the typical user base for these services, it really confirms who is prioritizing this reliability. Who are we talking about?
It's a mix, but the pattern is clear. Business travelers with non-negotiable schedules, frequent flyers who just understand the value of a guaranteed pickup.
Families, maybe?
Families, definitely. Traveling with kids or a lot of luggage, you need that predictable space and assistance. And of course, anyone with those really early morning or late night flights when everything is just more challenging. It's for anyone for whom time is money or the risk of delay is just too high.
Right. To synthesize our findings today, it seems that airport limo and sedan services are really far more than a luxury ride. They're an explicit investment in logistical predictability. You get scheduled, commercially licensed, professionally managed transportation. The whole system, from the software to the chauffeur's training, is designed to take uncertainty out of time-sensitive travel to and from ONT.
You're trading that instant hail for guaranteed logistics management.
Perfectly said.
Which I think raises an important question for you, the traveler. Given that commercial licensing, comprehensive insurance, and specialized training are fundamental to ensuring reliability and passenger safety in these critical airport logistics, to what extent should you weigh those verified professional standards of a scheduled service against the convenience and, the often lower initial cost of a general rideshare, especially when you're planning the most time-critical part of your entire journey?
A trade-off worth thinking about.
It's something to mull over the next time you look at your flight itinerary.